Previously on Quest Friends Hereafter.
I thought that I would have found Boidelrat by now.
So?
Well,
There's a map of Big Dead City.
at the car.
Well, you must be careful there, little one. If you're not careful, you're gonna start looking like a sucker.
Malia runs to punch him.
You guys are, you're performers too? Well, why are you going to the Globe?
It's just Willie Shakespeare versus every other playwright who has ever existed.
He's already got an unwanted tenant in the Phantom of the Opera.
I mean, the Black Box, that's a pretty dangerous place. Only the most dangerous and knowledgeable people go there, like the Butcher.
Cool.
Butcher! 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 The crowd calls for ectoplasm. Because reminder, blood for the dead is ectoplasm. But it doesn't matter. You don't bleed ectoplasm or blood. And you don't want to find out what you bleed because you're not in Kansas's Necromon duel anymore?
All right, that worked. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
I'll allow it.
They're not in Kansas's Necromon dueling anymore! Ta-da! Now, the new competitors, Mush, Sous Chef, and Stir Fry, have to face off against the fearsome, the terrifying Butcher! And yeah, you are in this cage staring down a book with a knife. Or maybe it's a spoon. At one point it probably was, but Booker uses it to cut, so functionally a knife.
The Mossies are hiding behind Pokio.
Oh, Pokio's hiding behind the Mossies.
They're both hiding behind Malaya.
Pokio's had a rough day. They're both hiding behind Malaya.
Malaya is all like protecting, arms crossed, like, yes.
Yay!
Booker looks this little group up and down, pauses to think, tosses down the knife, and does like that little cutting motion
Oh my god.
with his little foot, like, oh, call it off.
And the crowd immediately goes silent. What's this?
Ricoob! He holds out his little foot to indicate too small.
So?
Oh,
The Mossies, when the knife got thrown down and the gesture made, like, all leaned out, like, stacked up, like Scooby-Doo gang leaning around a corner. It's like, Psalm? And then with the too small, Psalm, they all just flatten.
Booker will point at a random person in the crowd and say, Ricoob, and nod. Then he'll point at the Mossies. Ricoob, and he'll shake his head.
Psalm.
He'll point at another random person in the crowd.
Yeah, because the first person, when being pointed by you, a dust cloud was kept up. They fucking bolted as soon as you pointed.
He'll say, Ricoob, and nod. And then he'll point to Pokio. Ricoob, and shake his head. He'll point to a third person in the crowd. Ricoob, with a nod. And then he'll point at Malaya. Ricoob. Shake his head.
Malaya will narrow his eyes.
Booker is trying to indicate that he only fights humans.
Okay, well, the good news is, and by good news I mean bad news actually, Pokio assumes that Booker is just like, I only fight big, worthy opponents.
Yeah, that's what Malaya gets too.
So
like,
Pokio is gonna like give Malaya a look that's like, hey, you gonna take that? Pokio, who's currently afraid and hiding behind Malaya, like, oh, you're gonna let him talk to you that way?
well, that's all Malaya needed for this.
Perfect.
So he will approach Booker. He's usually on his small size to not intimidate the rest, but now he'll be like, you haven't seen my final form.
Yeah, and he's big. He's huge. Your hat starts to curl up around, reaching outside of the bars. Some of them bulge a little bit as your shoulders press against the cage. This is a fight that's apparently bigger than the black box, but is it big enough for the butcher?
Booker will point at a fourth human in the crowd. Rakoob.
Malaya! And there's a way that Malaya can shake the bars of the cage.
Yeah,
Come at me, bro.
I'm just gonna let you do that because,
I
like,
want to try and break the bars of this cage. Like, it's on. The pride has been wounded.
in the black box, it is literally just a black box. So there's no, like, you know, windows or anything like that for glass to shatter. But we'll say that
I like to imagine the force is like blowing over someone's script that they've been working on for their play. Like, no, my pages.
It's the rat.
the rat, his manuscript, he was going to show it to Willie Shakespeare.
He was going to show it to Willie Shakes. He was going
His
to
manuscript.
be a chef and a playwright.
The rat just throws down the rest of the pages on the ground and stomps off.
The rat's manuscript flies off, and next to him, Van Gogh is holding an oil painting of a window, and the glass in the painting of the window shatters by the force of Malaya's shockwave.
God bless.
Oh ho 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 ho!
Malaya!
There goes my other big toe!
Malaya!
The Mossies are just
And-
like bouncing in the background, like Psalm, Psalm, Psalm.
Alayam! Alayam! Come on, punk! Are you going to refuse? Are you going to deem me not worthy?
So here's my question.
Yeah.
Booker's a book. So, like, can Booker write?
His pages are blank. So
Yeah.
let's think about this. So Booker's pages are blank. However, when one is added to him, blue light appears in his eye and he shows a memory of something he recorded. Like, there's no saying he can't graffiti his pages, but I assume it's gonna be strange.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's weird if Booker writes on himself, but I like the idea of Booker writing on other things.
He pulls out a smaller book.
I was just thinking, like, takes out like a marker and just starts like permanent markering on the ground.
I was just picturing him having written a very clumsy little contract
Okay.
for his cage fighting. Like, I am allowed to stab people with a knife.
Sign this death warrant.
Yeah, it's just a picture of you stabbing people with a knife. There is an image with you with a flintlock revolver, but that one did get vetoed by the black box.
I want in his contract to be like, even if it's just pictures, like all these other species with X's next to them, and then just humans with a check mark.
And he gives them the contract paperwork!
Some of the Mossies like nibble on the contract, but the others are going to like roll into Booker and try to pantomime Boidelrat just by like stretching out their mouth to be like, "Rah." This is what Boidelrat does. Rah.
Ah.
Booker will look at them, just a long look. And then he'll tip his little head to the side and he'll put a little crumpled up piece of paper on his head to symbolize trash?
Psalm, Psalm.
Rakoob!
The Mossies will bounce up and down, Psalm, and then look from side to side like, can't find them anywhere.
Booker will toss the contract into the face of the street hustler.
Oh, I'm right here for some reason. I always thought I was in, like, a different space, but apparently I'm in the middle of this arena.
Getting a real close-up look.
Maybe Booker can just throw really far, Kyle. You don't know.
I highly doubt that, but okay.
What if it was a paper airplane?
I just assumed that because it's a black box, it was a small space, and so it did not actually have to fly very far to hit him in the face.
That one! That's what's happening. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So,
In any case,
I think we should spend more time arguing about where this man is in relation to us.
I'm not clear if this black box is a diamond or a pyramid.
Well, just as we are puzzling over the layout of this cage match, Malaya has been puzzling over what Booker was trying to say over the little diagram. Because Malaya still wants blood, but now he's confused as to where to punch. Because apparently this book thing doesn't want blood.
Malaya's all fired up.
Yeah, it's all fired up. Like, I want you to punch something.
please don't punch me.
Don't tempt us, ragtime hustler.
Well, I feel like if the street hustler is there and Booker is throwing the contract there, Malaya might pile on this.
Just hit
Trying to grab the contract, like, curse this piece of paper. That's so confusing.
We want the hustler within reach of Malaya. It's important.
We're gonna make this guy into a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah, roll me a fierce. We're gonna give this a difficulty of 3.
I rolled a 9.
You flatten him.
Alam! Alam! He's like holding his little arms on top, like, I did it, I won, I turned him to mush.
Meanwhile, he literally curls up, and the piece of paper which is stuck to him flutters down. And some of you don't see him for a second till he turns around. Because it appears that in addition to losing my wife and my money and 2 of my toes, I have now lost my 3rd dimension.
Booker will jerk his head towards the door, grab his knife on the way out, and expect the other Necromon to follow him.
The Mossies are gonna roll around Malaya in circles and then follow Booker.
Now that Malaya's thirst for blood has been quenched, he will follow the Mossies and Booker.
As Pokio goes out, they extend their little hands for a high five to Malaya.
Oh, Malaya will high five too. He will hug, but really gently.
Okay.
Oh.
And then Malaya will shrink to his small size to be the size of everybody else.
Good.
Ha, ha. Well, we're gonna make it on Broadway, and by Broadway, I mean the Globe Theater. Da-da. No, I will make it. No, I will make it. Littered like fucking dandelions. There are a bunch of just singers, vocalists, singing while looking into sheet music, walking back and forth in the Fair Theater District. All of them determined to make their way on Old Broadway. That's what it's called now.
Old Broadway.
Bloodway.
Bloodway.
I appreciate Ari.
There are a bunch of small theaters, but no one's going into any of the small theaters. You'll see them open up. It'll be a one-man show, yet somehow the one man isn't there because they're not attending their own performances. Because what everyone cares about is the giant theater in the center of this district, held up by a giant statue of Willie Shakespeare in the pose of Atlas. He holds up his masterpiece, the Globe Theater, a literal giant bronze theater in the center of the Fair Theater District.
Beautiful.
In the center of the Globe Theater, a bunch of people are sitting on wooden benches, and from each of their perspective, the stage is up and forward. But from an outsider point of view, we would see it that the globe, the way it's positioned, is it literally encirculates the entire stage. So you've heard of theater in the round. What about theater in the globe? It's theater in the round, but in all 3 dimensions.
I hate it.
None of you are on the stage, but we can see a group of 4 Necromon down near the lobby area.
Pokio wants to grab a playbill. This is Pokio's new favorite thing. Pokio is just completely taken in by the circles and the dimensions and the colors and the music.
While this is happening, the Mossies look away for a moment, and when they turn back to face the rest of the group, each of them is wearing like a white half mask, Phantom of the Opera style. They do not acknowledge us, so just like, Psalm.
Interestingly, Booker will start nodding aggressively. Recoob! Recoob! And he'll point to your masks.
Psalm?
Recoob!
Psalm?
And he like puffs himself up to look scary.
Psalm. The Mossies shrink and take off the masks.
Recoob! Recoob! He says like a little Booker ghost.
Well, Phantom, they're different.
They're different.
I swear to God, round 12 and round 13 had this conversation like 3 times in the Arc 1 finale.
I'm sure that they did.
They are not the same.
I was busy during the Arc 1 finale.
Booker will continue to lead them down towards the depths of the opera house.
Leia will grow a little bit, not like full size, but a little bit to be equal in the threateningness. If there's Phantom of the Opera vibes and Irene, for some reason, likes that kind of thing, Leia would point that out or do something.
Yeah, Irene likes historical, dark, like, she gets a little scared sometimes, but she likes historical horror, gothic stuff. She probably likes Phantom of the Opera.
Let's be honest, she considers herself misunderstood and misguided. She literally became a phantom, and don't tell me Irene wouldn't want to sweep a beautiful young singer off of her feet.
It's true.
Okay, but we don't need to talk about it.
Malaya would mime the like Phantom of the Opera, like ta 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 as you're going down the.
And it's funny, you go to mime it, and as you finish, there's a big boom as you stand on a giant room-sized organ.
Oh,
Beautiful.
yes.
I fucking love it.
At first, Malaya would think that it was him and just be like, Liam. And then just look around like, oh no.
Is there a face on this organ? Is there a face? Are we in the Beast's castle?
Is it the Tim Curry piano?
Is it the Beauty and the Beast organ?
The Beauty and the Beast Christmas special?
Is it that piano?
There is a giant face, and it speaks like Tim Curry.
Oh my god, fucking Forte's here.
But I'm gonna say you don't notice that because you're so small. We all see this face, and it's still. And as you move across, we see its eyes kind of track you. But you're all so small that you don't notice this.
Oh god.
So Pokio would like to ask Booker some questions.
Recoob.
Cop?
Recoob?
Cop?
Recoob.
Cop? Cop?
Leon?
Oh.
Recoob? 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 Recoob?
Leon.
See.
Cop?
Recoob.
Pokio whips out their little map that they had earlier.
The Mossies, like, huddle close to Booker and look over at the map.
Pokio's, like, dramatically gesturing to all of them. Cop? And then does, like, a big gesture at the big, empty, cavernous, dark opera hall. Cop?
Leon.
So, remind me what is on this map.
I don't remember.
It was basically a block or two, and there seemed to be some sort of directions of something moving somewhere.
Okay,
In a town, that wouldn't be enough information. In a city, that wouldn't be enough information. We're in like a continent's worth of people in a city.
Yeah.
No idea what fucking street this is.
So I don't know what it is.
Probably not.
Rekoob. He shakes his head a little bit, like, what are you showing me?
Oi! Pokio just like shakes the map a little bit more in front of Booker, like
Rekoob! He shakes his head again and gestures towards the little map.
Pokio throws the map to the ground in frustration.
The rat just smiles from somewhere high above.
In the background, glistening through the dark.
The rat doesn't smile yet, but it's gonna smile in a second because you suddenly hear a deep, sonorous booming.
Oh boy.
Darlings, if you get any more forte, you're gonna let everyone know about us down here, and we can't have that, can we?
Aye.
Boom, boom. From both sides, the organs start to blast sound, and you can see that they're blasting air down into a void in front of the piano.
I stab it.
I punch it!
Okay, roll me fierce. It's gonna be a difficulty 10. It's a big-ass piano.
I rolled a 9 plus 2.
God damn it.
11.
God damn it.
I rolled a 9 plus 2.
Oh my god! Teamwork!
What the fuck do you do to this piano? What do you do to Tim Curry piano?
It's just like as air is coming from the things, like Malaya interprets this as an attack, like a roar. So Malaya just goes and like the cage, try to the like thing where the air comes out.
Darling, don't need to get all in me like that, alright? This relationship is crescendoing rather quickly, wouldn't you say?
Booker stabs it again and again.
Yeah, Malaya starts punching it as well. But he grows menacingly.
Rekoob!
Oh, attack, I'm being attacked!
And you start to hear some wailing and moaning, ooh, as voices start rushing towards the fucking the keyboard, the Tim Curry, sexy Tim Curry organ, who you are now having a sexual fight with.
You made it sexual. We were not sexual.
I'm a sexy Tim Curry piano. I don't know what you expect of me, darling, alright?
Booker stabs harder.
I'm wailing, but not in the way that I want to. Please come save me, other whalers.
I think Tom has been killed.
What's going on?
I want to tear the keys out.
Wait.
In a slow, sexy way.
Slow, sexy way.
Is it possible to X-card the entire session?
Okay, wait.
What have we done? How did we get to this point? I think the Mossies are going to automatically break from this. This is too much for them.
Yeah, so a break is when essentially you get so stressed you just stop acting as a team member. What is the Mossies break?
Panic! The Mossies are so distressed by the chaos, this is scary and weird, that they are like scattering and just rolling around screaming.
Oh no!
I want to find the organ's eyes so that I can have a conversation with it.
Yeah, the organ has a face up top.
Okay, sick. I will find the face.
You better go quick before Booker finds the eyes and goes for them.
I've been reinvigorated. Like, maybe this organ understands my map. So I pick it up off where I threw it, and I show this map once more to an NPC.
So, Malaya is punching. Booker is stabbing. Pokio has run up and is like, owie cope.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that.
And the Mossies are just rolling around. And I'm just gonna say, for the sake of us not being here any longer, for all of our sakes, one of the Mossies gets caught where one of the organ things was and flies off where it was being shot.
No, one of the Mossies gets separated from the rest. What happens then?
No, we have to follow the Mossie!
Booker won't notice until a second one goes, I feel like.
Acceptable.
You have to be missing more than one other party member before he'll stop stabbing.
Okay, so Pokio notices that the Mossies have flown away, and then I would like the moment that happens to Rabbit in Pooh's Grand Adventure to happen, where like the map goes one way, but like the friends are going the other way, and it's like, oh my god, map or friends? What do I choose? Pokio has undergone character growth, so the map is now gone, and Pokio is chasing after the Mossies.
Roll quick. We're gonna say standard to catch it as it's falling, so a 6 and 8 to catch it before it falls off.
Okay. Here's my 10. I'm rolling my 10, and I got a 10.
Oh my god!
I got a 10!
How do you catch the Mossie before it falls down? We're gonna be here forever.
I shoot one of my little cactus quickies out, but not in like a harmful way, in a really useful way, because I'm a cactus. And then I catch the Mossie with my cute little grappling hook I just made up with my...
You swing your little chef's hat out and catch it in the chef's hat.
I would like to do the better suggestion Emily just had, which is use my chef's hat, and I catch the little Mossie and the map at the same time.
Aho! So you catch both of them, you're picking up the Mossies.
Yeah.
Malaya and Booker are still just going to town.
Correct.
But the wailing is getting louder. The semi-melodic, oh, oh, oh.
Booker will keep his knife up, but look up and turn around.
All right, Booker, I want you to roll me quick.
I have 2 quick. Woo. I'm gonna roll this one more time.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Well, I rolled a 9 and I was worried because I hadn't used this die before that it was just gonna keep rolling 9s, but it didn't.
So you rolled a 9.
Yeah.
You brush past as a zombie that you don't recognize, but we would recognize as Samuel Beckett, playwright of Waiting for Godot.
What?
Samuel Beckett! That wasn't on my bingo card.
Lunges for you out of fucking nowhere. And as he does that, you see around you dozens of eyes, all staring at you, some unique, but most of them playwrights. And the wailing turns into singing.
Despair, you've fallen down to nowhere. Prepare, for you are hidden beyond prayer, where souls despair.
Like the sheep singing up above, we came to town with tales to tell. But dear Willie, he cast us down
The deepest well.
fair theater was not fair at all, till our mistress heard our call. Unknown, unseen, misunderstood.
Now you found us, now you should despair. For down here hope is mighty rare. Beware, the phantoms of the opera dare to spare no scare.
How? Welcome to the announcement break. And I'm gonna stop singing because you've heard way too much singing from me already. But welcome to the announcement break. Today, I have just one thing to ask of you, and that is to check out our newsletter. Because not only do we have monthly newsletter posts from me, but every single month we have a new recipe in a series called America's Quest Kitchen. A little bit of backstory. For the past year or so, we have been blessed to have an intern named Maya Essian, who has been just lovely to work with. So, for example, we've been working together on a bonus episode, which you'll hear eventually. But the other big thing is that Maya and Hallie have been working together on making recipes inspired by Quest friends. So far, they've only done stuff from season 1. So Hallie has done pizza on the Ritz, olives in honor of Sarah Brackleberry, and then the rat from Ellie's hat, while Maya has been making their way through the cookies from the Cookie Crew. They're really fun posts. They're written in very funny, approachable ways, and with the exception of the rat from the hat, they're actually pretty good. So check out Maya and Hallie's work at questfriends.substack.com or check the description below. That's all I got for you this week. We got one more adventure with these Little Mon in Little Mon Big City, part 3. But if you want additional short stories, podcasts, or video outtakes, you can check them out at patreon.com/questfriends. I'll see you there. So for those of you who couldn't understand the lyrics, the long and the short of it is that these are the phantoms of the opera, spelled with a forte symbol to avoid copyright. The phantoms are Necropolis's downtrodden and forgotten, with 95% of their membership being comprised of every playwright who isn't William Shakespeare.
Am I familiar with these people?
One of them sneers at you. Hallie, give me a playwright.
Like a dead one?
Yeah, like a dead one. I don't want to kill a living playwright.
Christopher Marlowe.
Christopher Marlowe stares at you, Booker. We told you not to come back, Butcher.
Recoob. And Booker pulls out his knife again. And then mimes slicing his throat.
Everyone's like, hush, no. I'm not afraid. I'm not, they look a little afraid, but they're a little ready to fight. How are you all gonna respond?
I mean, I will stab this man.
Malaya is always ready to fight, is the thing.
I'm hugging the Mossies and showing them my map.
The Mossies are so happy, and they're gonna roll protectively in front of Pokio.
Oh, that's so brave.
Malaya will stand protectively in front of the Mossies and Pokio.
Booker is no longer paying attention to them.
Booker's a solo fighter.
They all look hushed, and they're kind of ebbing and flowing, ready to fight. Are they gonna go? Are they gonna not? And then we hear, Dialogue! From behind the masses of playwrights, a mossy trash Boidelrat pops out.
Pokio's almost crying. And Pokio's gonna run and hug the Boidelrat.
The Mossies are just gonna be like bouncing around in a circle around Boidelrat.
Malaya will also and like go and hug.
Boidelrat is barking loudly in your ear and also wiggling herself really hard before slipping out of the group. Taladib!
Alayam!
Tom?
Taladib!
Once more, Pokio's map. Do you know what we've been doing, young lady?
Taladib! Boidelrat is gonna go to snatch the map out of your hands. And then scampers further down past the keyboard, looking back at all of you as she does.
Tail wagging.
Yeah, doing the dog thing where, she looks by to make sure you're coming.
Gotta follow. The Mossies are rolling.
Pokio's waving politely at all the playwrights.
I think maybe Booker turns to leave.
No, wait!
Wait, I leave? No! Wait, absolutely not!
I just feel like he's waiting for you to ask him to come with you, because he wants to be like that edgy, grizzled character
Yeah.
that shows up to like, you know, he's got like a little shadow over his little eye stalks as he turns with his knife and slowly begins to walk away.
When Booker didn't follow, one of the Mossies rolls back and is just like gumming on the cover of the book, like, Sob,
Rickoob
Sob.
gently edges away to get his cover out of their mouth.
They will just stare sadly with no eyes.
Rickoob, if you insist. And he scuttles up after the rest.
Sob.
Cause like, he was, you know, half peeking back with one of his little eye stalks, waiting to see if somebody was gonna ask him to come with.
The playwright you were fighting with glares at you as you walk in, just like does a I'm watching you.
Booker lets the tip of the knife, like the top part, not the sharp part, drag along with just that horrifying sound as he scuttles, staring back at that playwright as he walks.
All right. You make your way further down. It's kind of like a mix between a cave, a war bunker, and a guitar center. There's just a lot of different instruments. It's one guy just playing his guitar, and he looks around at these empty seats and is like, hey, come on, girls. Don't need to be so shy and look invisible. I know you're here.
Oh god.
And he keeps playing confidently to himself.
I hate this.
You see a forlorn skeleton lounging by a piano, coolly and sadly playing it with only one hand because he doesn't have a second hand.
Oh.
No.
And you make your way further down as Boidelrat, Tyler, shakes her little butt and keeps moving on.
Sob.
Liam.
Tyler. She boops each of you with her nose, and then she motions to, we'll say it's a crashed grand piano. You know, like how in cartoons you'll have the giant piano crash? It's like that, but big enough to be a room in the center of this little underground space.
I look for a face on this piano.
You do not find, I'm not going to
Thank
make
God.
you roll, you do not find a face.
Thank God.
There is no face on this piano.
Glad Tim Curry isn't here.
The door is one of the keys, which opens like a flap, and do all of you enter?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we're in it.
It is a risky plan there, Rhonda, and I certainly wish the bandits and I could help you, but you're busy. I know, you got the whole Titanic thing tonight. But hey, you know, I got the squad. Rhonda, you have 2 people. Well, yeah, but you know, one of them is, you know, he's pretty experienced. The other one, well, she's inexperienced. She's got gumption. Why are you talking about me like I'm not here? You walk into a space. It is it looks like the inside of a piano, so there are little strings going across the ceiling with lights dangling from them.
Adorable.
It's a tiny little war room, and you see 3 people planning. The first one is a tall, narrow woman wearing a coat and flipping a 2-sided coin. You wouldn't recognize her because you haven't met her yet, but this is Ruse of the Packback Bandits, who is about to try to steal from the Titanic like 4 episodes ago, but like in 30 minutes in this time. Next to her, looking at this little plan, is a phantom who looks like she's in her 30s with a round face and curly hair and half of a Phantom of the Opera mask. And as Boidelrat goes up and places her little piece of paper on this much, much larger map, a large finger just gently puts it in its proper place as Lucas Bang says to Boidelrat, you were gone for a little bit there.
Can I stab him?
Qua?
Yes.
I didn't sign up for this.
Go with Hilda's blessing.
I signed up to what?
Roll me a standard difficulty fierce.
Okay.
7.
Where do you want to stab him?
I mean, I'm small. I'll stab him, like, in the leg.
Ah! You stab him in the leg? Oh, what was that?
Rickoob.
You feel as the tall, narrow woman picks you up.
I kick my little legs and I wave my little knife.
And this woman's voice changes as, I'll just say out of character, Ruse stops fronting and it switches to Dober, who's like, oh, well, you gotta keep yourself careful. You gotta keep yourself careful there, darling. You could hurt somebody.
Rakoob, he says, meaning that is the point.
What's he doing back here? Stabbing isn't... Rhonda stares at you. Stabbing is not very nice there, Butcher.
Rakoob.
This is...
Rakoob.
This is...
Rakoob.
This is a reformative space where the lost and misguided can find their ways back, and we don't allow stabbing.
Rakoob.
Tylodoib! Boidelrat starts munching on Rhonda's arm, trying to mimic what you did with the leg.
Pokio is staring very sturdily at Lucas Bang, the man who did the crime that Irene was put on trial for.
Yeah, same.
And as well as Pokio can, crossing their little arms and staring a very, very, very threatening glare.
The Mossies will also puff up and try to look tough for this.
And Malaya will grow a little bit more.
No mercy for someone who made Hilda sad.
And Irene.
But Booker doesn't really care about
Booker doesn't
Irene.
really give a shit.
Lucas just stares at all of you. He is still flesh and blood, but he is pale as a ghost.
Fucking good.
Hi there again.
Leon?
Rakoob.
Oh,
wake up.
I feel like we kind of got off on the wrong foot last time.
Rakoob.
Leon.
Wake up.
oh.
Wake up. Cup.
Mm-hmm. Leon.
He looks at Rhonda. May I be excused?
The Mossies are going to try to roll over to a door and see if they can lock it.
I'm going to just let that happen. Clink. All right, then. He just nervously backs up into a corner as far as he can.
Pokio looks at Boidelrat expectantly and then points at Lucas. Wake up.
Tylodoib! Boidelrat pats the, bigger piece of paper.
Rakoob.
Leon.
Tylodoib! She looks back at Rhonda and says, Tylodoib! I mean, Dober, who's still holding on to Booker, is just like, you're the mistress of the Phantoms, it's your call. Well, I have my reservations, Rhonda says, and you notice that Rhonda can't glare, but she's doing the closest she can.
Good for her. We support that.
If they were able to beat Eddie, then I guess she kind of rolls her eyes at Lucas Bang. We could use all the help we could get. You go up and you take a look at this bigger map. I'm going to let each of you actually ask me a question about the map.
Is it as good as my map? That's not my real question. Don't take it that way.
Your map is literally part of the map. Part of the map was torn out, and that was the part.
I helped!
Yeah, you finished the map.
I helped! I did it! Yay! Okay, is there an X marks the spot circled part on the map?
There are multiple. Specifically, we're going to see there are 3 X's, and they seem to mark the beginning of the route, the end of a route, and then somewhere in the middle of this route.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any detours along the map?
There are some detours, but you see that a lot of them are marked as blocked off by a little drawing, because Boidelrat made a lot of this map.
Oh, good for her!
So some of it is text, but some of it is drawings, and you can see one's like a drawing of Lucas Bang. You can see there's a Puro Ribbit, a frog in a tutu, which is one of Lucas Bang's Necromon, which is blocked somewhere else, a Wardlet. So each of those detours seems to be blocked off by Lucas or one of his Necromon.
Are there hazards marked?
See, you saying it makes me want to make one.
You don't need to make one.
There seems to be a lot of planning to make sure that the environment doesn't get in your way, but there is a big casting call going on. You know, like when you're running away in like The Fugitive or something, and they do like the parade chase? It's like that. The route that this thing is being driven through goes right through the middle of a giant, we're gonna make it an audition parade.
An audition parade.
It's a giant audition parade.
What a concept. I am so happy with the concept of an audition parade.
What a time to be alive.
All right.
I don't know.
In that case, I will answer one of the questions I would have had with this map.
Yeah.
Yes.
What the fuck is this map for?
Okay, well, I thought that was too obvious to ask.
I thought I had missed that somewhere, so
I thought.
To be honest, I also thought I just didn't hear it.
No, I thought you would be mad at me for asking the obvious question.
You see there are a bunch of words, and you don't know what those words say, but underneath it, you do see in Boidelrat speak, and you're getting a little better at hearing her writing.
Yeah.
The text just says, Operation Free Papa.
Eh? Papa!
Papa!
Try to break Rasputin.
Yeah, we're gonna jailbreak Rasputin! Jailbreak Rasputin!
Hang on.
Wait, that's fine. Jesus Christ, Eponine.
Eponine, what is the matter?
She has, it's big feelings time.
Eponine!
It's big feelings time for Eponine.
Eponine has never once been given attention in her entire life.
She has things to say.
She shall stay outside if we're going to bar.
We're just talking about how it's big feelings time for Eponine.
So cute.
Yeah, it's because she heard Scott and got scared.
Oh, poor baby.
It's fine. Now she's outside.
This is Flat Stanley. This was the origin of Flat Stanley.
Flat Stanley! What? Fuck is Flat Stanley?
It's a children's book from the USA.
From the US.
I did not have that children's book.
I've never heard of Flat Stanley. What?
I'll send you Flat Stanley.
Did you accidentally Homestuck again?
It's a little
Like,
boy.
what?
He's flat. You can mail him because he's flat.
There he is! You can mail him!
This feels very Little Midwest Boy.
That's Leah!
Listeners, if any of you have heard of Flat Stanley,
Mail him
please.
to your friends.
I remember Flat Stanley.
The book recounts the adventures of Stanley Lambchop after he is squished flat by a
Stanley
bulletin board
Lambchop.
while sleeping. He is otherwise uninjured.
I'm gonna mail everybody a Flat Stanley card this Christmas.
Anyways, the ragtime
Anyway.
hustler is flat now. He has lost his third dimension.
He's become Flat Stanley in our rogues gallery.
Okay.
Can I, carve a little book into the Willy statue?
It's a bit of a walk, but yeah, when you get there, I've just let you do that.
I mean, if it's not on the way, I'm not gonna go out of my way. I could do it later when I come back to fight some actual humans.
We'll just say there are a bunch of tiny Willie Shakespeares holding the globe, and they're all facing in the direction of the globe. So you know how to get to the theater based on what direction the Willies are facing. I did not like that sentence in retrospect, but you get what I mean.
It's too late.
It's too fucking late for everything in this episode.
We're just surrounded by willies. Big willies, small willies.
To be or not to be, or 3B, or not 3B, or 4B or not 4B, in this Kaleidoscope Hamlet.
What? What does that mean?
Recoob, Booker says because he can't say boo.
This is the point where I'd have an NPC pop in, like just a random worker here, and say, hey, just wanted to let you know, don't really bring those masks around here with the phantom problem going around. It's, really sensitive on William's part. But because Ariel hasn't gone into any of their jobs, that employee NPC does not exist.
Oh.
And instead, everything I said is just placed in a placard.
That's genuinely hilarious.
Because they're just too busy doing other things now.
Oh, that's so upsetting.
No.
And so
That's so sad. Kike would be sad at that, at his kid not doing the jobs that they like.
Booker doesn't care.
Well, I mean, Malaya doesn't care either.
It has the energy of those signs that businesses were putting up for a while of like, we had to raise our prices.
yeah.
Oh my god, because no one's in here to work.
Yeah.
We had to raise our prices because Ariel won't come into work.
Oh.
So this theater just wrote like, hey, we got a ghost.
Well, Phantom.
There's a phantom problem. Phantom, yes.
Yeah, phantom
because ghosts
problem.
are, yes.
No, they're not. They're different.
They're different.
Phantoms can turn invisible, but are fully flesh and blood, like fully corporeal.
Yeah.
Ghosts can't turn invisible, but they can go incorporeal.
Okay, I'm writing this down.
I swear to God, round 12 and round 13 had this conversation like 3 times in the Arc 1 finale.
I'm sure that they did.
They are not the same.
I was busy during the Arc 1 finale. I don't think this helps anyone, but like, what if I cast wizard digits, light telekinesis with limited fine control? Can I play the piano using that ability? Does that help us? Is that anything?
I mean, these are giant keys. These are keys like the size of you, like probably twice
then
the
it's
size.
not light telekinesis.
No.
It's big telekinesis.
No, it's big telekinesis. It would just make it sexier, and I don't want that to
I
happen.
don't really want that to happen.
Don't you though?
So
Because
let's-
it wasn't sexy until you started saying he did everything sexily.
I gave you a difficulty 8 and difficulty 10. I expected him to be gone as of like 10 minutes ago. And then you fucking punched him in his organ.
I mean, I guess we did start talking about how many willies were around. Booker's also confused about where this organ came from. Like, how long has it been there? Did he just walk over it last time and not realize? Like, is this new?
He was sleeping.
One of the playwrights offended an enchantress.
Fortissimo guards this place. That's his name. It's Fortissimo because he's forte but more. Anyways,
Oh.